Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto Kage Lavel Chunin exams. Part 1. If you guys enjoy this, what if? And guys want to see part 2? Comment down below. And let me know before I start. Please do support for more awesome content. And leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And also share this video with your friends. And check out the description. And check out my playlist. So let's start the video. Chapter 1 Rethinking. It had been 2 weeks now since Naruto, Neji, Shikamaru, Choji and Kiba had returned from their mission, which had been a success. Not all was well though, Neji and Choji were in ICU and Kiba was going to be bedridden for at least a month. Shikamaru's wounds weren't that bad and he was back on active duty within a week. Naruto, even though his injuries were by far the worst of the group with the exception of maybe Neji, recovered and was released from the hospital in 3 days. Sasuke had recovered surprisingly fast and was now on a recovery program that consisted mostly of training, with the exception of several hours of psychiatric therapy. Of course he was under Anbu surveillance 24/7 as ordered by the Hokage. Naruto's house. Late at night Naruto was sitting on his bed lost in thought. Since the mission had been a success, Naruto expected the villagers to actually praise him or at the very least reduce the cold stares, but that was not the case. The villagers actually blamed him for being a bad influence on the Uchiha heir and treated him even worse. Damn that Sasuke. He never does anything beneficial and he's still loved by everyone, thought Naruto angrily. If anything, he's responsible for Neji's, Choji's and Kiba's condition. And as soon as he's out of the hospital, guess who decides to train him? Kakashi, of course. Why the hell does that traitor get all the attention? Naruto's tone was becoming even angrier. I saw that bastard not too long ago. Dope this and done that, was all he said. As if nothing even happened. This damned village is getting on my nerves, Naruto was now screaming inside his head. Damn it, shut up kid. Roared the Kyuubi. If you're so angry, why don't you just kill them? Oh that's right, I forgot, you're so innocent you wouldn't hurt a fly, said Kyuubi sarcastically. I'm not like you fox, I don't just go on killing sprees because I feel like it. You're so weak, you know that. I'm not weak. Don't you dare call me that, stupid fox. You know you should rebel against these people. Leave the village, leave your so-called friends, get away from all the pain they are causing you. You don't owe them anything, why should you stay? Questioned Kyuubi. We can train far away from this village, what do you think kid? I can make you really strong. So strong even the Hokage won't be able to rival your power. Kyuubi grinned evilly in his cage. If I can make him leave the village it would be so much easier, though Kyuubi hoped that he made his argument strong enough for the boy. On the outside Naruto was heavily considering Kyuubi's offer. The Kyuubi was right, Naruto didn't owe the village anything, more like the village owed him, and if this was their way of paying him back then screw them. If kind words didn't get through to them, then maybe violent actions would. That's right, I don't owe these bastards anything. They can rot in hell for all I care, announced Naruto. Alright Kyuubi, let's go. Let's leave this godforsaken place. Naruto quickly packed up some bare essentials, a change of clothes, toothbrush, money and all of his weapons. He didn't bother packing food since he could always hunt. He suddenly noticed the necklace Tsunade had given him and his forehead protector. Naruto ripped off the necklace and threw it on his bed. However, when he went to do the same thing with his forehead protector he was stopped by the Kyuubi. He'd keep that. It may be a painful reminder, but if you ever need to get back in the village it would make things a lot easier. Yes you're right, thanks fox. Cut it out with those that call me by my name, snarled Kyuubi. Alright Kyuubi, will do. Then what are you waiting for, let's get moving. Better to leave this place secretly so that they don't send Anbu. Having spent all his life in Konoha, Naruto knew many ways to get out of the village in secret. However, luck wasn't on Naruto's side today. Just as he was about to jump over the northern wall, a guard grabbed him by the shoulder and demanded to know what he was doing. Naruto's emotions ranged from shock at being caught to being very pissed that he hadn't been able to slip out. Before the guard could raise his defenses, Naruto smashed his fist into the guard's stomach, knocking him out, and proceeded to quickly leave. However, he had forgotten that the guards always patrolled in pairs, thus he did not notice when the other disappeared in order to report to the Hokage. Hokage office. Tsunade was sleeping with her head on her desk surrounded by mountains of paperwork when suddenly there came a frantic knock on the door. She barely had time to wake up as the door burst open and a babbling burst in. Shut up and calm down. I can't understand a word you are saying, yelled Tsunade, who was angry at the rude awakening. I'm sorry Hokage-sama, it's just that I just saw a ninja running away from the village, said the frightened. This caught the Hokage's attention. Who is this ninja? She asked in a serious tone, afraid that Sasuke was attempting to leave again. Uzumaki Naruto, announced the guard. What? Screamed the goddamn. Send out an Anbu team to bring him back right away. Alive, mind you," ordered Tsunade. "Yes, Hokage-sama. And get Jiraiya and Kakashi in here." "It will be done by Hokage-sama," said he left. "I hope this doesn't turn into something serious though Tsunade. I hope Naruto doesn't do anything stupid, like try to fight the Anbu." Chapter 2 Not coming back. As soon as Naruto was outside of the village, the Kyuubi pointed out that someone would definitely notice that the guard had been knocked out. "Well, what the hell was I supposed to do?" countered Naruto angrily. "I'm a kid, I'm not saying you did anything wrong," replied the Kyuubi with a snarl. "I'm just trying to say that your Hokage might already know." "No, she's not my Hokage anymore," interrupted Naruto. "Whatever, you should quicken your pace before." But before Kyuubi could finish his sentence, Naruto smelled something. The weird thing was that Naruto's mind registered it as 4 people with medium to high amounts of chakra. "What the hell is going on here?" wondered Naruto. "My chakra is enhancing your senses. Those people that you smell are most likely an Anbu team, looks like our escape wasn't perfect, like I suspected." "Shit. I'm gonna have to take on 4," yelled Naruto. Before Kyuubi could answer, the Anbu had already caught up and surrounded Naruto. "Uzumaki Naruto," said an Anbu in a bird mask as he approached Naruto. "We have orders from the Hokage to bring you back. Please come with us peacefully, we don't want to kill you unless it's absolutely necessary." They are all releasing substantial killer intent, but there are also traces of fear. "How the hell do I know all this?" wondered Naruto as he processed the information. "Must be those improved senses the Kyuubi was talking about, but I don't have time to ponder that now." "Never thought Konoha would fight to keep their precious little demon," said Naruto in a taunting voice with a slight smirk. Then suddenly Naruto's eyes and voice turned frighteningly cold. "Well, sorry, I'm not going back and you can't force me, Birdman." Inside Naruto's head. "Kyuubi, I'm gonna need your help with this." Obviously, said the fox in a taunting voice, and Naruto scowled. "Alright, here's what we'll do, I'll give you some chakra to fight with, but if you're still losing, then I'll take over." Kyuubi compromised, knowing how much Naruto didn't like losing control of his body. "Yay, whatever, just give me back control as soon as you kill them," agreed the blonde. Back to reality. The Anbu shook a little as they felt Kyuubi's chakra being released. "So he's actually going to fight," thought one of the Anbu with a cat mask. "This could be difficult if he's using the demon's chakra," thought another with an ape mask. "I'll finally have my revenge on the demon fox," happily thought the last one with a ferret mask. "Scared already?" asked Naruto. "Huh? What did you say, brat?" said the bird mask Anbu scoffed. "Take him down," he ordered. "You'll never take me alive," Naruto shouted with bared teeth. All 4 Anbu disappeared from Naruto's line of vision. "I might have underestimated them," frowned Naruto. "No matter, they have no chance against me and the fox together." "Stop calling me fox, you damn brat," said Kyuubi. "Try this, demon boy," said the cat-masked Anbu while throwing several kunai at Naruto. Within a blink of an eye, Naruto disappeared from his spot and the kunai hit nothing but the tree trunk Naruto had been on. "Where is that monster?" said the ferret-masked Anbu. "Nobody can disappear like that. That's inhuman." "Up there," shouted the one with the cat mask as he pointed towards the moon. "Nice try, demon," screamed the ferret-masked Anbu. It took less than a second before the next wave of kunai, this time with explosive notes, flew toward Naruto. "Try something more original, would you?" sighed the blonde. Naruto kicked the kunai and deflected them toward the bird-masked Anbu. With his quick reflection, the Anbu threw shuriken straight against the incoming attack and they exploded on contact. The bird-masked Anbu's face turned into a smile, only to be replaced with a frown as soon as he saw Naruto appear behind the smoke without a scratch on him. Naruto lunged his fist toward the said Anbu, only to be met with a kick from the cat-masked Anbu, and before Naruto could recover, his back received another blow from the ferret-masked Anbu. Naruto flew through many branches, but right before hitting a huge tree trunk with an expected loud crack, the boy concentrated it to his feet and stuck to the trunk. "No way!" exclaimed one of the Anbu. "He's still standing. I guess it is my turn to join the fun," thought the ape-mask Anbu, jumping off from the tree where he was perching and observing the battle. "Bastards," said Naruto while wiping blood off the corner of his mouth, "you guys are not going to win." Page Bunshin no Jutsu, the image of Naruto suddenly blurred as he split into countless copies of himself. If you want to outnumber your opponents, might as well go for a larger number than 4. All of the clones reached for their kunai in unison and split into 4 groups, each attacking a different Anbu member. However, before the clones could even reach their enemies, the ape-mask Anbu jumped into the air and made several hand seals, rain of 1,000 needles. Out of nowhere, needles start showering the clones, and one by one they disappear in a poof of smoke. The ape-masked Anbu landed on the ground lightly on one foot while the other Anbu sighed with relief. "Not yet. He's still there," warned the ape-masked Anbu. In the middle of the needles, the real Naruto was still standing with half a dozen needles sticking through his right arm, which was shielding his head, and several more dozen in his torso and legs. The four Anbu trembled as Naruto's previously disappearing chakra suddenly started to burn around him. "I will not give up so easily," Naruto said, and slowly raised his hands to pluck the needles off his body. Losing too much blood and chakra in the process, he started to lose concentration. His vision blurred and his knees gave away slowly. "Let's just kill him. Everyone knows that he is a monster. No one is going to blame us if we kill him," persuaded by the ferret-masked Anbu. "Yeah, let's," agrees the cat-masked Anbu, "I want to get my revenge too." The four Anbu surrounded Naruto and prepared hand seals. "Water tower no jutsu," exclaimed the cat-masked Anbu. "Oten. Land crush no jutsu," yelled the ferret-masked Anbu. "Buiton. Gale wind no jutsu," said the bird-masked Anbu. The ape-masked Anbu stopped suddenly and with a jerk, stared at Naruto, raising his fingers to his mouth and aiming at Naruto. "Kaiten. Fire tornado no jutsu," exclaimed the ape-masked Anbu. Naruto looked up toward the four Anbu to see the four massive heads heading straight for him from different sides. The four Anbu just smiled and chuckled when the fire, water, wind, and earth attacks hit the spot where Naruto was standing, wiping it out completely. Chapter 3: A turn in the road. "Unbelievable. The kid's body is still in one piece," exclaimed the ferret-masked Anbu. "Let's just bring his body back to the village." "I'm tired," said the ape-masked Anbu lazily. Inside Naruto's head. "Kid. Wake up, kid. What was that, huh? They beat you so easily," teased Kyuubi. "Shut up. I am trying, you know. There are four of them," growling at Naruto. "You will never cut it. Now let me take over already," Kyuubi urged impatiently. "Fine," Naruto says hoarsely, "but when you are done give me my body back." Back to reality. "What is going on here?" asked the bird masked by Anbu. They all stared at Naruto's body with awe as the seal on the blonde stomach started to glow, then spin and fade until it was barely visible. "This kid is freaking me out," said the cat-masked Anbu. "Is he dead or not?" "Want to take a guess?" Kyuubi's voice asked through Naruto's mouth. Naruto stood but kept his head down. Suddenly a huge amount of chakra surrounded his body. As his body seemed to burn in the middle of the chakra, all of his wounds started to heal. The cuts and burns closed up and left no scars. Bones were put into place with several cracks and pops. When Naruto went through the next change, the four Anbu started to tremble in fear. "I don't think this is the same person anymore," says the ape-masked Anbu. "Look." Naruto's fingers tensed and slowly his nails grew longer. His whisker marks widened and fangs lengthened. "You're right, monkey. I am not Naruto, sort of," Kyuubi said while grinning. The Kyuubi-possessed Naruto slowly tilted his head up so that the Anbu could see his eyes, which were not blue and innocent anymore, but orange-red and feline-like. "Let's get out of here, now," suggested the ape-masked Anbu. "This is beyond us now. This is the demon." "What's the sudden rush? Don't you want to stay and play?" says Kyuubi with an evil sadistic smile and licks his lips. "I thought you wanted to get revenge." The Anbu seemed to be even more shaken by this and started to run away. Kyuubi only chuckles as he watches the four, supposedly elite shinobi, scramble through the tree branches. "I think that is a fair head start," mumbled the demon as he smirked. With extreme speed Kyuubi jumped through the trees and landed in front of the Anbu. "You've got to be kidding me. Is that your best?" asked Kyuubi. "Arhg. I'll take you on myself, demon," screamed the ferret-masked Anbu as he concentrated his chakra on his palm and slammed his hand on the ground. A rocky handle shot out of the ground. The said Anbu member grabbed the handle and pulled out a katana from the ground. Jumping from the ground, the ferret-masked Anbu tried to strike Kyuubi mid-air. The fox expertly dodged the attack without any difficulty. The ferret-masked Anbu uses his free hand to throw shuriken toward Kyuubi, who simply caught all the shuriken in one swift move and chucked them back at his opponent. The ferret-masked Anbu deflected the shuriken with his sword and lunged toward Kyuubi. The demon raised his left palm against the sword. With a loud crack, the sword shatters as soon as it touches Naruto's palm. Instantly Kyuubi snuck in and grabbed the Anbu by the neck. "Isn't it sweet to have your own body? Too bad I am going to take yours away," Kyuubi says with a snarl. The fox tightened his grip around the neck and it started to crack under the pressure. The ferret-masked Anbu squirmed, trying to escape the grip, but it was futile as his neck snapped only a moment later and the ferret-masked Anbu suddenly stopped moving. Just to make sure he was dead, Kyuubi uses his claws to rip the right side of neck completely open. He savored the taste of blood as it poured out of the wound and helped feed his bloodlust. "Let's see if you can beat both of us," asked the cat-masked Anbu and the bird-masked Anbu together. They jumped toward Kyuubi with kunai ready. The Kyuubi deflected the first strike by the bird-masked Anbu with his claws. All three keep on jumping on and off branches around them while sparks shoot off from colliding attacks. The bird, masked by Anbu, reached into his vest and pulled out a windmill shuriken. He opened it and threw it toward Kyuubi's back. Kyuubi quickly turned around and caught the large shuriken before disappearing. "Where did it go?" asked a cat, masked Anbu. "This thing is too fast." "Page shuriken no jutsu," a voice yelled out above them. The two Anbu looked up in horror as hundreds of windmill shuriken flew right at them from every side. Both Anbu let out a scream that echoed through the forest. "What just happened here?" asks the ape mask Anbu in a trembling voice. "My whole squad has been eliminated." "Well. There is still you," Kyuubi says from behind him. The ape mask Anbu froze in from the killer intent. His body tensed and he couldn't move. "Pathetic humans," Kyuubi scoffed. "Thanks to the windmill shuriken, it was very useful." The ape mask Anbu slowly turned his head only to see claws lunging toward his neck. "No!" screamed the human right before he died. "Anbu this, Anbu that. They are nothing but a bunch of sissies," scoffing Kyuubi as he took a look around. "Ah, the free world. But it seems it's time to go now," Kyuubi said sadly as he felt Naruto trying to regain control. The orange-red swirling chakra disappeared and Naruto fell to one knee, breathing heavily back in control of his body. He slowly stood up and looked over the disaster area of where the Anbu were killed. He stares in disgust, fear and, surprisingly, awe at what had just happened. "The Kyuubi sure has a shitload of power," was the only coherent sentence that Naruto was able to construct from all his random thoughts. "That was fun. Kid, you really should let me out more often," said a satisfied Kyuubi. "And you do any clean kills? God. This is sickening," thought Naruto with a frown on his face. "I'll remember that next time you ask me for help." "Damn fox," mumbled Naruto. Little did either of them know, but two figures had watched the entire battle from a safe distance and had now decided to make their appearance. Even with his increased hearing, Naruto barely heard the two land on the ground behind him. "Who the hell is it now?" thought Naruto in annoyance. "What the hell do you?" said Naruto as he was turning around, but shock rippled through his body and the words froze in his throat. In front of him stood two tall figures in black cloaks with red clouds painted on them and high collars that covered the bottom of their faces up to the nose. They both wore straw hats that had cloth hanging down all around the edge, completely covering their heads, only thinning out a little in the front so that they could actually see. Since they both had their heads raised, Naruto could plainly see each person's forehead protector. The tall one, who looked to be about 6'8", had a wrapped-up katana on his back, the tip of which almost touched the ground, and the handle ended about a foot over his head. His forehead protector was that of the hidden mist and had a line cut across the surface from one end to the other, the calling card of a missing nin. He had small wide eyes and had markings on both cheeks that looked like gills. The other one, who was about 5'6", had a hidden leaf forehead protector that also had a line cut across the surface from one end to the other. His most distinct feature was the fully developed Sharingan in both eyes. "Hello, Naruto," greeted the shorter of the two. Meanwhile in the Hokage office. The Anbu were dispatched over 20 minutes ago, but still no sign of Kakashi or Jiraiya. "Where the hell are they?" asked an angry Tsunade. Just then the door opened to reveal two white-haired people. "Damn it, Kakashi. Why are you always late?" yelled Tsunade. "Is something the matter?" asked Kakashi in a completely calm tone. "Yes, something is the matter. A certain student of yours," Tsunade pointed at both Kakashi and Jiraiya, "has beaten up a guard and fled from the village." "What?" yelled the Sennin at the same time. "That's impossible, why would Naruto leave?" asked Jiraiya. "That doesn't matter right now, we have to go after him," said Kakashi. "I've already sent a team of Anbu after him. Under strict orders to bring him back alive, but since he's your student and your responsibility, I want you to go and make sure that he is brought back safely," ordered Tsunade. "Hi, Hokage-sama," they said before disappearing in a puff of smoke. "Please be alright," Naruto thought Tsunade. "Though something tells me that, unlike with Sasuke, we won't be able to get you back." Back in the forest. Naruto was way too shocked to even respond to the greeting. "Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. What am I gonna do now?" panicked a terrified Naruto. "These guys are strong. If I remember correctly, they want my power. This could be a fortunate meeting," thought the Kyuubi. "Hey kid, see if you can join up with them." "What are you crazy about? They'll kill me." "No, they want my power, and if you can use my power, then you will be a very valuable asset for them. And they will probably train you too," reasoned the fox. "That'll be a load off of my shoulders," thought Kyuubi. Kyuubi didn't mind making his vessel stronger, but Naruto was so stubborn and annoying that it would just be easier and less nerve-wracking if someone else did it. He couldn't, however, entrust this to anyone in that godforsaken village. Oh no, they would only keep him weak. "You sure about this?" asked a now less scared and more skeptical Naruto. "Yes. Trust me, damn it," growled the Kyuubi. If Kyuubi is right, then this wouldn't be such a bad deal." "No, not a bad deal at all," mused Naruto. The blonde shock had already worn off and he was now standing proud and tall, beaming with confidence. "It seems we were never properly introduced, my name is Uzumaki Naruto," said the boy proudly. "However, I am no longer part of the Hidden Leaf." This reversal in attitude confused both Akatsuki members, but they didn't let it show. "I am Uchiha Itachi," said the shorter of the two Hidden Leaf's missing nin. "And I am Hoshigaki Kisame, Hidden Mist missing nin," said the one with the katana. "You should consider yourself a missing nin too. Especially after what you just did." "Whatever, I don't care about, Itachi-san." "Kisame-san." Itachi's head jerked suddenly. "Itachi-san? What the hell does he mean by calling me that?" Kisame was a little surprised that the kid would instantly respect him, especially after the circumstances surrounding their last meeting. "What does the Akatsuki want me for?" asked Naruto. "I don't know, our orders are just to capture you," answered Itachi in a cold tone. "Cold eyes, cold tone, cold everything. Now I see where Sasuke gets his attitude from," commented Naruto in his head. Remembering his old teammate made Naruto frown, "That bastard, son of a bit. No use in remembering him and worrying about him. I have a new life ahead of me now." "Well, do you think it would be possible for me to join the Akatsuki?" asked Naruto hesitantly. Itachi and Kisame exchanged glances. "He wants to join. By his own free will," whispered Kisame. "Well, from what we just saw, the kid does have potential. I don't think our higher echelons would refuse," whispered Itachi. "Not that it really matters, as long as we bring him back with us we're fine." Then turning back to Naruto, Itachi said, "I don't think that would be a problem, however the decision isn't for us to make since we do not run this organization." "Then can you take me to the ones that do make the decisions?" asked a hopeful Naruto. "Yes, we have orders to bring you back anyway," said a satisfied man. "Oh good, no more chazzing after this kid." "Then let's go, this scene is bound to attract attention," said Itachi while looking cautiously in the direction of Konoha. With that the company of three leapt up into the trees and was gone. Chapter 4 New Arrangements. It was getting brighter now, light was starting to graze the mountaintops in front of them. They had been running for several hours now, exactly how long Naruto did not know. His mind was more focused on the destination rather than the journey, and even though he hadn't slept at all in the last 24 hours, he still managed to keep up with Itachi and Kisame. "This kid is really something," thought Kisame. "I was sure we would have had to take a pit stop, but he doesn't even show the slightest signs of exhaustion. Great stamina for a kid his age," thought Itachi. Even though it is probably due to Kyuubi. "We will soon be crossing into the mountain country. They don't have a hidden village so getting in will be a lot easier," informed Kisame. "Don't the border guards stop you to ask questions? Won't they see that you are missing nin?" asked Naruto referring to their forehead protectors. "That's what it's for," Naruto curtly replied to the Uchiha. "Right," Naruto nodded in embarrassment. "Let's slow down to walking speed now," ordered Itachi. "We don't want to attract attention by continuing like this." "Understandable, blending in with the crowd, more or less," reasoned Naruto looking at how the Akatsuki members were dressed. "Yes, the less attention you attract the better, this is one of the basic principles of stealth," lectured Kyuubi. "You'll learn more later." The border station soon came into view and the group slowed themselves down almost instantaneously. The station itself wasn't anything impressive, just two houses standing opposite each other on each side of the road. In between them was a small gate that opens outward to let people in and out of the country. Itachi and Kisame performed a performance that made them look like simple farmers. Naruto was also about to change himself, but Itachi stopped him, reasoning that he didn't look suspicious and that the border guards hadn't received any news yet. "Actually, I think he should cover up those whisker marks," suggested Kisame. "This way the pursuers don't know where to find us." "That's true. Hold on a moment, Naruto," said Itachi as he performed another that not only hid Naruto's whisker marks but also made him look like the son of a farmer. "I thought you were just going to hide the whisker marks," whined Naruto in confusion. It's not that he particularly minded his new look, it was necessary after all, the problem was just that he didn't like being deceived and or lied to. "We can't be too careful," replied Itachi in a stern voice. The eldest Uchiha had never been good at dealing with kids and all their misplaced whining. Once they got to the gate, the guard lazily made his way out of the building and asked what business they had coming to the mountain country. Itachi made up something along the lines of going to visit relatives or some shit related to family. Naruto put on his happy mask and acted all excited about seeing his sister after so many years. All in all they got through the security quite easily. The trio continued at a leisurely pace until the border was out of sight and then instantly picked up the pace, albeit not nearly as fast as when they were running through the fire country. "We don't need to travel really fast now," explained Itachi. "We are just going to the nearby town so we can rest for a little while." Meanwhile north of Konoha. Kakashi and Jiraiya were running through the forest looking for Naruto, following the path the Anbu had taken. I hope we can get to him before something bad happens, thought Kakashi. Damn it, Naruto. This is not the time to be running off. With the village in its current state, we need every single shinobi we have. I'll have to have a serious talk with him later, angrily thought. Suddenly Kakashi and Jiraiya felt an uncomfortable chill go down their spines. I have a bad feeling about this, muttered Jiraiya. We best be prepared for a possible fight, said Kakashi as he raised his defense. However, something tells me that we might be a little too late. About a minute later, both smelled blood. This can't be good, said Kakashi and increased his pace. How can we smell blood but not be able to see where it's coming from? He wondered. It would be understandable if we were of the Inuzuka clan, but otherwise. Jiraiya's face grew even more serious. There can only be one explanation. There must be a massive amount of blood, gravely concluded the old man. The Anbu track seemed to be going in the direction of where this smell originates. Maybe they followed it too. Kakashi tried to lighten the situation, but it didn't work. The deeper they traveled into the forest, the thicker the smell of blood became. We are definitely closing in on whatever it is, thought both men as they exchanged worried looks. After several more minutes of running, they made it to where Naruto had fought against the Anbu. The sight that lay before them literally shook both of them to the core. The small forest clearing was predominantly covered in blood. Everything, absolutely everything, had some amount of blood on it. It was an absolutely disgusting sight. Kakashi barely held back his dinner and Jiraiya just simply stared at the clearing, unable to move or say anything. My God. I haven't seen anything like this in 13 years, said Kakashi in a trembling voice with shivers running down his spine, arms, and legs. Yes, this looks demonic, alright, said Jiraiya, instantly understanding what Kakashi was referring to. Please God, the seal didn't break. Just please, mentally pleaded Jiraiya. Naruto probably lost control again, said the copy ninja. But as far as I know, the only time that happens is when he's under great emotional stress. Jiraiya took a moment to digest that information. If that was the case, then Naruto must have been provoked somehow, said Jiraiya. Since he most certainly isn't the kind of person to give up, especially control of his body. The toad looked closer at the mess before them. I really wonder what happened here. The good news is this is all still fresh, less than an hour has passed since this fight took place, said Kakashi. Naruto is probably still relatively close to the village, so both Leaf Nin silently prayed for that to be true. Considering the fact that we can't feel that demonic chakra anymore, I'd say that Naruto has calmed down, at least a little bit, said Jiraiya with a small glimmer of hope on his face. The two of us can't possibly handle all this territory, sighed, pointing in all the directions Naruto could have gone. Kakashi reported back to Tsunade about this and told her to gather up some manpower to search for him, he ordered. I'll stay here and try to track him. If I find anything, I'll draw arrows on trees. Kakashi nodded and was gone instantly. Tracking him is going to be rather difficult since the smell of blood is covering most every other smell in the area. Looking around, Jiraiya noticed that there were several footprints in the bloody grass. They were all small, a child's foot, mused Jiraiya. Well, it's good that he's still alone. Jiraiya then started looking for clues as to where Naruto could have gone. He looked around the outside of the clearing and noticed that no footprints led in or out. Hence the reason that Naruto must have been traveling through the trees. Jiraiya instantly jumped up into the surrounding trees and after only a few minutes of search, saw a bloody footprint on one of the branches. Alright, now I can follow him, thought the toad. With any luck I'll have him back in the village before sunrise, smirked Jiraiya as he jumped forward. The trail was rather easy to follow since Naruto made no attempt to cover up after himself. After several minutes, Jiraiya realized that the trail was a straight line and increased his speed. Good thing Naruto doesn't know how to cover his tracks, however, as soon as he thought that the tracks ended abruptly. What the? Jiraiya decided to look several trees ahead, thinking Naruto might have jumped farther than all the other times. He still found nothing. That's weird. The old man went back to the last footprint for a more thorough examination. According to the depth of the outline, the fact that it's only one footprint and the smudge on the toe side. It looks as if he was still running, but then where the hell did he go? Wondered Jiraiya with a very confused look on his face. Something inside of him told him to backtrack a little in hopes of finding some clues. About 20 footprints back, he noticed an abnormality. This footprint seemed to be smudged differently. Aha. It looks as if he jumped to the left here. Clever, but you'll have to do better than that. Jiraiya jumped to the left and didn't have to search long before he found a new trail of footprints there. Just like last time, it's a straight line. I can freely increase my speed then. Though, again after following this new line for a while, Jiraiya soon found that it came to another dead end. Not again. Grumbled Jiraiya as he was forced to backtrack again. This time only 10 footprints back, they found a footprint that was smudged to the left. Damn it. Jiraiya cursed softly under his breath. I need to start paying attention to every footprint. Jiraiya briefly wondered how the supposedly delinquent blonde had suddenly become so good before completely focusing on the task at hand. After about 30 or so footprints, Jiraiya noticed that Naruto turned left again. Not paying this pattern much heed, Jiraiya simply followed this new trail. In another 20 footprints Naruto again turned left. What the hell is he doing? Thought Jiraiya, once again changing direction. Within several minutes, Jiraiya finally noticed that his surroundings looked surprisingly familiar. I feel like I've been here not too long ago, mused Jiraiya and looked around more intently. That's when he realized what Naruto had done, that damn kid. Screamed Jiraiya in his mind, he was already planning a punishment for Naruto for making a fool of him. Find anything, Jiraiya-sama? Jiraiya turned around to find Kakashi crouching down looking at the footprints. You're back soon, said that in a strained tone. Not really, it's been over an hour, stated Kakashi. An hour? Yelled Jiraiya. Well yes, I reported to the Hokage. Told her about everything that we found here. Then showed her on a map approximately where this happened so that she could better strategize where to send other shinobi, explaining the younger shinobi in a calm voice. She is going to gather more forces to look for him at dawn. Jiraiya nodded in understanding but looked back down at the ground. These are his tracks, are they not? Asked Kakashi while pointing at the footprints. Yes, but if you follow them they either end up as a dead end or they keep turning left until you come back here, said Jiraiya in obvious annoyance. That's interesting, Naruto has never been very big on stealth. He prefers loud entrances, if you know what I mean, said Kakashi with a slightly joyful hint in his voice. Yeah, that's what worries me, replied a concerned Jiraiya. How come now, suddenly, he can come up with tricks that can deceive even me? Back with Naruto. Naruto, Itachi, and Kisame were now on the outskirts of a small town. We will spend a few hours here resting and getting a few necessary things, said Itachi. Boy, Itachi-san, are you sure that it's safe? I mean the Leaf are probably tracking me already, so shouldn't we still be on the move? Asked a worried Naruto. I don't want to go back to that fucking village. Naruto, I don't think you realize, but considering the speed we were just traveling at, we are actually about a week's worth of normal travel time away from Konoha, replied Kisame with a grin. Naruto's eyes widened. He knew they had traveled fast, but not that fast. I must have been really engrossed in my thoughts. Plus, Itachi and I used some tricks to fool any pursuers that may be following us, added the blue-faced missing nin. So don't worry Naruto, they won't be showing up here anytime soon. First of all, we'll need a hotel, then we need to get you some new clothes, Naruto, outlined Itachi while looking with disgust at what Naruto was wearing, and only then can we start thinking about food. Naruto looked down at himself and was about to say something, but Itachi interrupted, don't even think about objecting, Naruto, that outfit of yours screams please kill me, and we don't need that kind of attention. No, I wasn't going to object, replied Naruto. It's just that, I don't really know what to get for myself, he finished in a timid voice. Don't worry about that, we'll help you out, the Uchiha assured him. Thanks, said Naruto with a big smile. This is great, no one in the village, not even my so-called friends, would help me with getting an outfit. That is of course if I could handle the stares and glares of the shop owners, customers, and the general crowd to actually get into the store and stay long enough to actually look at more than one outfit. Naruto wanted to shake in anger and resentment but managed to restrain himself. Calm down, Naruto, calm down. You're over and done with that place now. Never going back, so no need to think about it anymore, the demon container told himself. The three companions easily found a hotel, dropped off their stuff in the room and went shopping. They soon found a store that sold suitable clothes and after trying out several outfits and some mixing and matching, Naruto was set in his new outfit. The blonde sandals were replaced by actual shoes, reason being that the mountain country was a lot colder than the fire country. Naruto's body was now clad in black pants and a black sleeveless mesh shirt. On top of the shirt was a dark red jacket that had several pouch pockets on the chest, 2 regular pockets on the sides, and even a pocket on each sleeve. He was now also sporting a face mask that Itachi had suggested so that Naruto couldn't be identified by his whisker marks. They were considering a hat, but because of Naruto's free-flowing spiky hair they decided against it. After that the trio went to get some breakfast, after which they went back to the hotel room and slept until mid-afternoon. Best to leave now, said Itachi as he roughly woke up Naruto. We still have about a day's worth of travel, since we will be moving at a much more relaxed pace now. They left town without any trouble. Naruto was surprised to see that even though their group was drawing looks from the crowd that the looks were of amazement, surprise, or even admiration. This feels really nice. So good to be away from home, thought Naruto, instinctively calling Konoha home and immediately mentally kicking himself for it. During the trip, Itachi explained that the mountain country, since it didn't have a hidden village, was in alliance with the earth country. So if anyone from this country wanted to hire a shinobi they would go to the hidden stone. Itachi politely answered all of Naruto's questions about the mountain country and about some other countries, except the water country, because that was Kisam's specialty. Naruto found that both Itachi and Kisame were quite talkative and didn't seem to be so bloodthirsty as long as there was no one else around. They didn't arrive at the next village until midnight. Not wasting any time, they had a light dinner and went to sleep at the only hotel the village had to offer. They slept in late since they had no deadline to keep and weren't really worried about Konoha shinobi crossing the border and finding them. During lunch, Kisame showed Naruto a map of the entire ninja world, on which he pointed out approximately where they were in relation to Konoha. Naruto was amazed to have traveled that far in only a few hours. On the other hand, I was amazed that Naruto could keep up with them for such a long time, but of course did not tell the boy this. Once on the road again, Itachi announced that they would reach the Akatsuki lair by nightfall. As they got closer and closer to their destination, Naruto became more and more worried. What if they don't accept me? What if they only want the power inside of me? What then? Oh shit, what have I gotten myself into? Maybe I shouldn't have come along. These were the kinds of questions that were floating around in Naruto's head. Kyuubi's not answering, I guess he must be asleep. Well, that's alright, I don't really need him right now anyway. Itachi noticed Naruto's discomfort but decided not to say anything. What could he say? He didn't know what the Akatsuki really wanted with Naruto, it wasn't even his concern. So they just continued walking. The group of missing nin had been walking for about 5 hours, the sun was setting and the road was now going through the mountains. Suddenly to the right a narrow path came into view, it tightly passed right between two slabs of stone. The trio moved off the road and walked on this path until it ended in a dead end. Itachi-san, are you sure you know where you're going? Asked Naruto looking up questioning at the stoic man. Itachi just glared at him. Well, I mean, it is dark and maybe you have lost your way since. Before Naruto could finish, Kisame picked him up by the waist and jumped halfway up the mountain, using the sides of each slab to push off of. After several seconds they were standing about 500 feet above their former position, on a wide open ledge. Itachi landed right behind them and walked right up to the side of the mountain and started doing some hand seals. He then touched the stone in a few places and did a few more hand seals. Naruto was watching this in absolute confusion, what the hell is he doing? First he leads us to a dead end and now he's trying to perform some sort of on a wall. Weird. Just then a part of the wall simply dissolved right in front of the trio to reveal a dark tunnel. 5 new life. Naruto stared down the dark passage that seemed to have no end. Itachi and Kisame calmly started walking in but noticed that Naruto wasn't following. Come on kid, let's go, said Kisame. Noticing that Naruto wasn't even moving, Kisame grabbed Naruto by his arm and dragged him in. Naruto tried feebly to resist, but Kisame just pulled harder, forcing Naruto to follow him. They walked for what seemed like eternity down this dark corridor, which occasionally turned to the right or left. Naruto looked back at one point and noticed that he could no longer see the light of the entrance behind him. You can't go back now even if you want to, the boulder has moved itself back into place and is being held there by ninjutsu, explained Kisame. Well, isn't that reassuring, thought Naruto sarcastically. Don't worry too much about it, said Itachi to the obviously scared Naruto. Just don't be disrespectful. Hi, stuttered Naruto. Soon after, Naruto could see a faint light in front of them. As they got closer he made out the outline of a door right next to the torch that turned out to be the light source. Itachi opened the door and went in followed by Naruto and Kisame. The inside was well lit and it took Naruto a little while to get used to the brightness. The trio was now in what looked like a waiting room. Naruto caught sight of Itachi talking to some holes in the wall on the far side of the room. There was another door on the opposite side of the one they had come in. Kisame, what's Itachi doing? Asked Naruto. He's arranging a meeting, said Kisame. Oh. An hour later. The door next to the holes in the wall opened to reveal nothing but darkness. Itachi walked through the door and seemed to disappear into the darkness. Kisame tapped Naruto's shoulder and beckoned him to follow as he made his way to the door. Naruto hesitantly followed. Once inside the room he immediately noticed Itachi standing right in front of him and had to move slightly to the right so as not to bump into him. I wonder if that's ninjutsu or jinjutsu, thought Naruto and started looking around the room. With the exception of 3 candles that stood equally spaced several yards in front of them, the room was absolutely dark. Behind each of the candles, Naruto could barely make out an outline of a person but could not see their face. These people sure are secretive, thought Naruto. Well, what did you expect, kid, that they would reveal their identity to every stranger? Said Kyuubi in a bored tone. That's not. Itachi's voice brought Naruto back to reality. Sir, we have completed our mission and brought Uzumaki Naruto back with us, said Itachi in a calm voice. So I see, said the person in the middle, however, it seems to me that there is more going on. Yes, this time around he came with us willingly, replied Itachi. "And what would be the reason for this?" asked the figure on the right. At this point Kisame nudged Naruto a little bit, motioning for him to speak. Naruto gulped but stepped forward and spoke on his own accord. He was surprised when his voice came out calm and collected. "I came willingly because I am no longer a part of the Hidden Leaf Village and I was hoping that I could join the Akatsuki." The soft chuckle was heard from the person in the middle. "So you want to join the Akatsuki?" asked the person on the left. Naruto said yes and nodded. "And you think that because we've been hunting you we would like that?" he continued. Naruto didn't say anything, but you could tell that he was getting nervous and that had indeed been the reason. Suddenly Naruto could see the middle figure leaning toward the figure on the left, obviously whispering something. The talk between the Akatsuki echelons. "Perhaps we should consider this," said Roto. "No, we should proceed with the original plan," replied Kane. "I know this isn't exactly what we had planned, but if he joins we will still have the power of the Nine Tails," countered Roto. "But that kid will have it, not us," said Kane. "Look this way we can train him to be a weapon," said Hijeko. "That's true," said Roto, "and this way is a lot more reliable. Who knows how many things could go wrong if we went with the original plan." "That's true, the original plan is quite risky," said Kane. "Exactly, so if we do this, we are guaranteed to have the power of the Nine Tails work for us and not against us," said Roto. "Fine," agreed Kane. "But then it's settled," said Roto, "however we still need someone to train him." "I suggest we let Itachi and Kisame train him," said Hijeko. "What? No, we need the Uchiha for far more important missions," said Roto. "No, I must agree," said Kane. "The Uchiha is from the same village and the Sharingan will most likely be helpful for interacting with the Kyuubi." True. Alright, yeah," said Roto contemplatively. Back to regular talking. "Naruto, we have decided to accept you into the Akatsuki," said the person in the middle. Naruto instantly felt better and smiled a little. "However, the first 3 months will be your probation period," said the person on the left. Naruto's smile faded a little bit. "Now Naruto could step out to the waiting room for a little while," said the person in the middle. "Alright," said Naruto. As he turned around and was shocked to see that it wasn't a wall of darkness as he had expected. Where the wall of darkness was supposed to be there was nothing. Naruto could easily see the entire waiting room. Naruto quickly recovered from his shock and went back to the waiting room. As he sat down on one of the chairs he quickly glanced back to look at the other room and was shocked once again. The wall of darkness was there once again. "What the hell? Did they put that up as soon as I walked out?" Naruto questioned his mind. Suddenly Naruto could hear the Kyuubi chuckle lightly. "No kid, no, that was never removed. It's a ninjutsu that on one side is absolutely black and you can't see through it no matter what, but on the other side it's completely transparent. Anyway, just relax kid, they are only talking about your life in there," said the Kyuubi placidly. "Yeah, only," said Naruto sarcastically. "Hey, I thought you were gonna actually teach me some new things. Have some goddamn patience kid. Plus you need to strengthen your body quite a bit before I even bother with you." In the conference room. "Itachi, Kisame, you have not completed your mission yet," said Roto. "What do you mean? We brought back the brat, didn't we?" asked Kisame. "Yes, but that was only the first part of the mission," said Kane. "The second part is training him, isn't it?" asked Itachi. "You always were sharp Itachi," said Roto. "Yes, the second part of your mission is to train him. Apart from regular training we need him to easily be able to use the powers of the Kyuubi," said Kane. "Understood," said Itachi. "Yes, sir," Kisame reluctantly agreed. "Damn, I have to spend more time with that kid. I really hate brats." "Also Kisame, we will need you to teach him water jutsus," said Roto. "We want him to be versatile in every element, so when he is done learning water jutsus, Kisame will be replaced with Raiko so that he can learn lightning jutsus." "We are to train him as an assassin, right?" asked Itachi. "After the next 3 months are up, you'll know what he is best at, that is what we will be training him as," said Roto. Itachi and Kisame nodded and turned to go, but were stopped by Romeo's voice. "You are to stay here for the next 3 months. I'm sure you know where the training facilities are," said Roto. "Yes, sir," said Itachi. "Good, then you're dismissed," said Roto. Itachi and Kisame then walked out to the waiting room to join Naruto. "No matter what you said to Itachi and Kisame, you do want him to be an assassin, don't you?" asked Hijeko. "Yes. And once he's trained we can finally put some of our long-term plans into action," said Roto with a mischievous smile. In the waiting room. Naruto," said Itachi as he walked toward one of the walls of the waiting room. He pressed his fingers in a certain pattern against the wall and it disappeared to reveal a well-lit corridor. As they walked down the corridor Itachi explained a few things to Naruto. "Naruto, Kisame and I will be training you from now on." Naruto nodded. "I expect absolute cooperation," said Itachi. "And don't whine, kid," added Kisame. "I have whining brats." "Yes, sensei," said to Naruto. Good, I'm glad to see you agree, said Itachi. Now let's go to our rooms and then I'll give you a tour of the compound. After a few minutes of walking down many different corridors, they finally reached a corridor that had one door at the end of it. They opened the door to reveal a door with 2 beds, a table and several bookshelves. Naruto dropped off his stuff and was about to go out again when Itachi grabbed him by the shoulder and forced him back. He held out a black exercise suit and told Naruto to put it on, which Naruto promptly did. Your training starts now, said Itachi. It is a weighted suit, which will help build your muscle mass and chakra control. We are going to start you off with 50 pounds. Naruto's eyes bugged out, 50 pounds already. Naruto half screamed. Shut up. Commanded Itachi, any more complaining and I'll have you wear 100 pounds. Naruto promptly shut up but continued to grimace. From now on you will wear that suit all the time, except in the shower. I know I said that this will help with your chakra control, but for the first week I want you to walk around in that suit without using chakra. After the first week is done, you will get more weight added to the suit and you will be able to use chakra to help you walk around. Itachi then put 5 10-pound weights into Naruto's suit and beckoned Naruto to follow him on the tour of the compound. As soon as Naruto began to move, he immediately felt the extra weight. He noticed that it wasn't that bad to walk around with, but when he thought about fighting like this, he realized that this would seriously slow him down. This sucks, thought Naruto. Idiot, this helps you like hell, said Kyuubi. I realize that, but it still sucks, replied Naruto. The Akatsuki compound was a very large place, complete with a training room that was about 50 square yards. Next to the training room was the weapons room, which had every single weapon type imaginable, even some things that Naruto had never seen before. Itachi then showed Naruto the location of some practical rooms such as the bathroom, kitchen, which didn't have any ramen as Naruto sadly noted, and dining room. Hey Itachi-san, when are you going to teach me how to get in and out of this place? After the 3-month period is up, replied Itachi. What? Pouted Naruto. Why? That's what is meant by probation, said Kisame. If you do go outside we will always accompany you. Oh good, at least I won't be stuck in a cave for 3 straight months, said Naruto. Well, of course we will be doing training outside, said Itachi. Now it's getting late, said Itachi, you need sleep in preparation for training. Yes sir. By the way Naruto, you'll be sleeping on the floor, said Kisame in an amused voice. What? Yelled Naruto. Well you need to build up your body, so just consider this part of your training, said Kisame. Fine. Naruto agreed reluctantly. The next morning, Naruto woke up with a backache and sore muscles. Damn it, how come I have to sleep on the floor? Naruto scowled. As if to answer Naruto's mental question, Itachi said, don't worry Naruto, you'll get used to it and also it will build up your body's resistance. After washing up the 3 went to the kitchen and Itachi prepared some breakfast. After breakfast Itachi and Kisame took Naruto to the training room. Alright Naruto, now run around the room 100 times, after that 100 push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and tree punching, said Kisame. Also you will need to balance on a ball for 30 minutes. What? Isn't that a bit much? Yelled Naruto. Shut up and do as you're told. Said an angry Kisame. Okay, sensei, sheepishly answered Naruto. Now for complaining you are going to be punished, said Itachi with an evil smile. Naruto gulped. You now have to run around the room 200 times. Now go. Said Itachi forcefully. Naruto immediately started running, not wanting to get even more laps added to his overwhelming several hours. Naruto finally finished his assigned task and had some rest. Kisame-sensei, I'm too tired to do any more today, groaned Naruto while meditating. Itachi had left sometime while Naruto was busy with his exercises. Don't complain, Naruto sighed Kisame, or do you want to get punished again? No sir, Naruto quickly responded. Here, Kisame tossed a bottle of water to Naruto. Thanks sensei. Now don't drink too much, you aren't done for the day, said Kisame. Now give me another round of everything you did today, ordered Kisame. Oh man. Groaned Naruto. Fine, whatever. Did you need to do this to get strong, said Kyuubi. Yeah I guess so. Don't guess. No, said Kyuubi in a matter-of-fact tone. Now go run those laps and do those exercises, they will help you a great deal. After he finished his exercises Naruto peacefully meditated with Kisame for several hours before going to eat dinner. What's for dinner Itachi-sensei? Asked Naruto since Itachi was cooking again. Rabbit responded to Itachi in a bored tone. Meat. Said Kyuubi, licking his lips. Naruto slightly raised an eyebrow at Kyuubi's comment, it's not human meat so don't get so excited. Idiot, meat is meat, human or non-human. During all my long years in the free world I gotta taste all the meat in the world and I can easily tell you which one is good and which one you shouldn't even touch. And how does the rabbit rank? Asked Naruto. Well rabbit is good, but it's right below wolves. Wolves are really good, said Kyuubi in a sadistic tone. Right. I'll give my own opinion when I compare the two," said Naruto. Then mumbled, "which will probably never happen," said Naruto, thinking where he was going to get wolf meat. "That's easy, you just kill a wolf, skin it in your case, and then eat. Well, you humans would want to roast it too. Right. I'll put that on my to-do list. Long-term list, that is." Just then Itachi put the rabbit meat on everyone's plate and they all sat in silence eating dinner. When they came back to their room after training, Naruto just collapsed on the floor in the middle of the room and fell asleep instantly. Itachi and Kisame chuckled at this, but found it a little difficult getting about the room without stepping on Naruto. It continued like this for 3 months, with only slight variations to the types of exercises that Naruto did. He had not been taught any ninjutsu or yet, his sensei's reasons for this being that Naruto had to first have a strong body and strong taijutsu before they could even begin to focus on the other aspects of being a ninja. The leaders of the Akatsuki meanwhile were convinced that Naruto wasn't a spy and decided to have him trained as an assassin. They knew that as soon as the boy was ready they could begin the first phase of their plan. Meanwhile in Konoha, the goddess Hokage, Tsunade, was sitting at her desk trying to make sense of all the scrolls and documents that were in front of her. However, her mind kept cycling back to that little boy that she had lost 3 months ago. The last 3 months had been the worst for Tsunade and the Leaf. The morning after Naruto ran away, Tsunade had sent more Anbu and other specialized tracking teams to try and find Naruto, but to no avail. Naruto could not be found anywhere. She then issued an order for search parties to be formed to look everywhere in the Fire Country for the boy. She knew, however, that not all of the teams would be so diligent in their search for Naruto, not everyone wanted to have the demon fox back. After realizing that, she sent out some of the genin teams because she knew that even though the genin weren't so good at tracking, they would want their comrade back and would be more diligent than the older generation. However, the results were still negative, and after a month the Godame was forced to give up the search and label Naruto not only as a missing nin, but also an S-class criminal, since he had killed that team of Anbu. Tsunade told all the ninjas that whenever they were out on missions to try and keep an eye out for Naruto. They all agreed, but she knew that most would forget this order and would rather keep Naruto out of the village. The goddess Hokage went public with the news of Naruto's disappearance a week after it happened. Many of the older generation had cheered because the demon was finally gone. However, the younger generation was hit quite hard with this news, especially Team 7 and the team that brought Sasuke back. Shikamaru and Kiba could not believe that Naruto had done this, and Kiba kept insisting that someone must have kidnapped him because the Naruto that he knew would never leave Konoha. Shikamaru led several search parties, all of which found absolutely nothing. It looked as if Naruto had just disappeared in thin air. Neji and Chaoji were still in the ICU when Tsunade made the announcement. Chaoji managed to recover a month after the mission and was absolutely shocked when Shikamaru told him the news about Naruto. Neji, however, was still in ICU and it wasn't looking good. He was only conscious a few days of the week and even then could barely get out several words before falling back into unconsciousness. Hinata grieved for her lost friend and crush. She felt as if she was left completely alone in the world, but soon convinced herself that he would come back. She had to be optimistic, she had to believe that he would return, then maybe, just maybe, she could tell him how she felt. But most of all, this event drove her to train more, become stronger, so that she could impress Naruto when he returned. Maybe this way she would gain more self-confidence. Sakura and Sasuke were absolutely shocked to hear about Naruto from Kakashi. They both desperately wanted to know the reason behind Naruto's disappearance, but since Kakashi was forbidden to tell them about the demon fox, they were told that the reason would only be revealed if Naruto were found again. Sakura couldn't help feeling heartbroken. Naruto had done so much for her and she couldn't even help him when something was wrong in his life. Sasuke just scoffed and mumbled something to the point of "Dope, I won't go chasing after you," which promptly earned him a slap for Sakura. That action surprised Sasuke, Kakashi and also Sakura. Out of all of Team 7, Sakura was probably the most affected because she realized that the only thing she had ever done for Naruto was ignore him, tell him off and or yell at him. Now he was gone and she couldn't apologize, she couldn't make up for everything she had done to him. She tried to put herself in his shoes and realized that the only two emotions that she came out with against herself were anger and resentment. She wondered how he could always be so happy and optimistic. She desperately wanted to apologize to him but knew that that was impossible now. Whenever she was alone in her bedroom and not out on missions to look for him, she would constantly remember her lost teammate and tears would always find their way to her eyes and she would eventually cry herself to sleep. Sasuke may not have shown it in public but did miss his friend teammate rival and would do his hardest on those search and rescue missions and blame himself when they came back empty-handed. He had finally realized that that old saying was right, you don't know what you have until it's gone. He had a friend and now he had lost him. Then he thought about Sakura, she was annoying, but still she was a friend. She may not leave the village, but would she stop being his friend if he kept acting cold? He thought that maybe he should at least try to acknowledge her. The rest of the Rookie 9 and Guy's team that are in any condition to be told the news were absolutely shocked by Naruto's actions. Ino tried to label him as an idiot, but no one else seemed to support that idea, and she soon gave up, especially after she noticed that both her teammates regarded Naruto with respect. Shino, as usual, did not say much except that if Naruto left willingly, then he must have had a good reason. Lee, who was now chained to the hospital bed to keep him from escaping, said that Naruto was not the kind of person to leave his dream behind like that without very good reasons, and very actively supported the theory that he must have been kidnapped by someone. However, I strongly hope that it wasn't Orochimaru. By the time Choji had recovered enough to be back on his team, the search was called off, and Choji was forever left with the guilt of not being able to help his friend. Soon after, the teams were rearranged as follows. Team 7 now consisted of Sasuke, Sakura and Tenten. Team 10. Ino, Choji, and Lee. Team 8 stayed the same. Team Guy was dissolved and he was given new rookies to train. However, he would often hold private training sessions with Lee, that is after Lee had been let out of the hospital. After the end of the 3 months after Naruto left, everyone except Tsunade, Jiraiya, Kakashi, Hinata and Sakura believed Naruto to have gone forever. Only those 5 brave souls dared to hope and pray for Naruto to come back someday. They swore a silent mutual agreement that they would always keep their eyes open for their blonde, happy, loud and hyperactive friend. Back with Naruto. In contrast to the dread that was being felt by his teammates, these last 3 months were the happiest Naruto had ever had. Naruto now had teachers that liked him, or at least seemed to like him, that seriously trained him. Unlike Kakashi or Iro-Senin, who would rather be doing anything else except training him, Itachi-sensei and Kisame-sensei wanted Naruto to get stronger. This was probably one of the most important reasons that Naruto finally threw away his mask completely and let his true intelligence and cold mood show. By the end of the 3 months of probation, Naruto was already carrying around an extra 300 pounds in his suit. His morning warm-up was to run around the training room 200 times and do 200 push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and tree punching. He could easily maintain balance on a ball for 2 hours straight without even breaking a sweat. His chakra control had also increased tenfold. Itachi had Naruto walk up and down the entire mountain. Not only that, Naruto could climb up the mountain on only his fingertips, using chakra of course. It was at this point that Itachi approached Naruto and told him that they would begin ninjutsu and training. Naruto was excited beyond belief. However, before we start, Naruto, said Itachi, I think we should go have a talk with a friend of yours. Friend? Asked Naruto uncertainly. Then, thinking it was someone from Konoha, added, I'm not going back to that village. No, Naruto, we have no intention of going to Konoha of all places, replied Itachi. Then. What friend are you talking about? Asked a bewildered Naruto. The friend that had been with you your entire life, calmly replied to Itachi. My entire life? Thought Naruto, who the? No way. Naruto's face paled slightly, you don't mean. Before he could finish, Itachi grinned and said, oh yes, your furry friend. Chapter 6 Training. Naruto, the time has come for us to go talk with Kyuubi, said Itachi. But, how? Asked Naruto. I mean, talking with the Kyuubi is no big deal, but how are you going to do that? Main Sharingan, calmly answered Itachi. Naruto paled when he realized what Itachi was talking about. That thing that he did to Sasuke. And then he couldn't wake up without the old hag's help. Remembered Naruto. Seeing Naruto's scared expression, Itachi reassured him, don't worry Naruto, it won't be the same I used to do to Sasuke. I won't inflict damage upon you. Alright, fine, let's do it, said Naruto. Well kid, looks like we're gonna see each other face to face again. Itachi and Naruto sat down in a comfortable meditation position and Itachi switched his eyes to reveal the Sharingan. Naruto, just look into my eyes. And relax, said Itachi, and activate the. The last thing Naruto saw, before everything turned black, was the redness of Itachi's eyes, and it seemed as though the 3 black dots began to spin around. The next thing Naruto knew, he was on his knees in that familiar murky corridor with the yellow walls and water that goes up to your ankle. Except this time was different, he noticed a black figure next to him, he looked up to see that it was Itachi. So this is what the inside of that seal is like, thought Itachi. In the distance they could hear growling and snorting. Naruto got up and started walking toward the sound. This menacing aura unnerves even me. Itachi shivered slightly, yet Naruto seems to be fearlessly going straight towards it. Naruto looked back when he saw that Itachi was not following, instead he was still looking around the corridor. Come on, said Naruto, there's nothing to see here. Naruto and Itachi steadily made their way down the corridors and passages until they saw what looked like a door of light. Stepping through it, Itachi was amazed to see the great gate looming several dozen feet in the air. It had some intricate designs around the edges and there was a piece of paper with the kanji sealed written on it. Behind those bars lies one of the most powerful demons in the world. This thought made Itachi slightly uncomfortable since he could sense the amount of power that was behind the gate. Suddenly out of the darkness appeared giant red eyes and white, very pointy, teeth. Itachi shook lightly as he laid eyes on the Kyuubi. Wow, it's enormous. Were about the only thoughts that Itachi had at that moment. Long time no see, Fox said to Naruto, not very politely. Yes, we can once again converse with each other face to face, said Kyuubi. Itachi was still speechless. Nice to see you come visit this dark, ugly, partially flooded home of mine, said the Kyuubi with resentment. Well, what the hell do you want me to do about it? Countered Naruto. Well, since it's your mind you may as well try refining it. It's your cage, you decorate, argued Naruto. And what the hell am I supposed to use for decorations? You ungrateful little kid, roared a Kyuubi. Well, you seem to have plenty of fur that is going to waste, said Naruto sarcastically. Arg, roared the Kyuubi. That is not a funny kid. The argument between the kid and the demon continued on for a little while longer, making Kyuubi angrier and angrier. I don't believe this, Naruto is talking with the Kyuubi as if he's, well, just a normal person you meet out on the street. He doesn't seem to care that he's pissing off a great demon, thought Itachi. Kyuubi finally noticed Itachi's presence and decided to address him in an effort to change the subject. Naruto, looks like you brought a friend with you today, said Kyuubi. Huh? Oh yay. This is my sensei, Uchiha Itachi introduced Naruto. A guy? Why couldn't you bring a girl? They are a lot tastier, you know, said Kyuubi, licking his lips. Itachi flinched at this last remark. What? Itachi-sensei is not for eating, yelled Naruto. Humph. So you are the Uchiha prodigy and you used Kyuubi, so why did you come here? A little sightseeing tour, said Kyuubi with a smirk. Regathering his confidence, Itachi was finally able to respond, no, I am here to ask you to give power to Naruto. Give my power to the boy? Laughed the Kyuubi, and why the hell should I do that? Well, he is your host and it is only natural that your image reflects on his, said Itachi. And because of that, don't you want your host to look good and be powerful? Questioned Itachi. Be powerful and look good. Yes, I want that, mused the Kyuubi. Suddenly an evil grin crossed Kyuubi's face. Speaking of looking good, the Sharingan looks very good. Especially since it became a rare commodity, said the Kyuubi in a tone that sent chills down both Naruto and Itachi's spines. Naruto, what do you think, we take one of his eyes and then use it as our own? Kyuubi asked with an evil sadistic laugh. Itachi trembled. If he really wanted to take my eye, would I be able to stop him? Damn Fox. What's wrong with you? Screamed Naruto, adding some other quite colorful words. Kyuubi had finally managed to calm himself down, he enjoyed watching humans tremble in fear of him. It kind of annoyed him that Naruto wasn't like the rest of them, but on the other hand Naruto was more of a challenge, harder to crack than the rest of them. And the Kyuubi enjoyed such challenges in life. Even though he would never admit it, he respected the boy a little bit. More power, huh? I used Kyuubi well, Naruto. I think we can make a deal. What kind of deal? Asked Naruto carefully. How about this? The stronger you get, the more of my power you will have access to. How about? Asked Naruto. Well, I'll let your scared sensei there take care of that for now, Naruto scowled at this. Later on I'll fill in the blanks and teach you some very high level Kyuubi sadistically. Naruto considered this deal carefully, it didn't seem bad. As long as he trained hard, the Kyuubi would give him more and more power. Alright, I agree, but first you gotta teach me something for all the hard work that I have put in these last few months, said Naruto forcefully. As if. Growled the Kyuubi, now get the hell out of here. But that the Kyuubi sent a wave of chakra at both Itachi and Naruto and knocked them out to reality. Naruto woke up to find himself back in his room, lying down on the bed. Naruto tried to get up, but the pain in his head forced him back down. Goddamn Fox, you didn't have to hit me that hard. As soon as he said that though, he felt an urge to perform some sort of. What the hell? I don't even recognize this order of seals. Maybe I'll just wait a little bit before doing this. Contemplated Naruto. But as soon as he thought that, his headache seemed to increase even more, as if telling him to do it. Fine. Damn it. Said Naruto while getting up from the bed. Can't I get some time to rest and recover, mumbled Naruto as he was going through the seals. Seal, dog, dragon, bird, horse, ox, tiger. Fire wave no jutsu, yelled at Naruto. He suddenly felt himself surrounded by an immense amount of chakra. Looking down and around himself, he saw that it was red chakra whose physical form resembled that of a foxtail. Thisum appeared in front of Naruto with awe in his face. What the hell is Naruto? So I guess Kyuubi decided to teach me after all, smiled Naruto. This is what Kyuubi taught me, Naruto calmly answered. Thisum blinked in surprise, Kyuubi taught him. Well, this day just keeps getting more and more interesting. Flashback. After having a talk with the leaders of the Akatsuki, Itachi and Kisame were on their way to Naruto. So, Itachi-sensei mocked Kisame. What kind of ninjutsu are we going to teach him first? Itachi sent Kisame a death glare, but calmly said, no, today I'm planning on helping him utilize the Kyuubi's powers. Kisame was clearly shocked, and exactly how are you planning to do that? By going into his mind and having a talk with the Kyuubi, Itachi said as if it was an everyday occurrence. You're gonna go. And. Kisame blabbered like this for a while trying to recompose himself. He's gonna go see Kyuubi, I don't care if it's locked up in a cage, that's a demon for crying out loud. Thought Kisame. Finally after several deep breaths, that's all great Itachi, but what if Kyuubi refuses? I'm sure we can come to some form of agreement. I hope so. Kisame thought Itachi had finally lost it, but of course didn't say so out loud. Itachi, are you insane? This is a demon you're negotiating with. Even you, being you, don't hold anything over it. About an hour later Itachi walks in carrying an unconscious Naruto over his shoulder. What the hell happened to him? Asked Kisame as he saw Itachi put Naruto on the bed. Passing out Itachi said simply, guess it strained his mind too much. Just then there was a knock on the door. Itachi opened the door to reveal a figure in all black with long dark green hair and emerald eyes. A few quick words were exchanged and Itachi made to leave, but turned around and said, I'm being summoned by the High Council, I'll be back in. Sometime later. I'll just let the brat sleep. Mental exhaustion, especially when the Sharingan is involved, should be allowed to pass naturally. Then flashback. So I took it to you and Itachi talked with Kyuubi. It was more of a question than a statement though. Yeah. Said Naruto calmly. I can't believe this kid, he's talking about as if it's a normal everyday occurrence thought a bewildered Kisame. Although Kisame wanted to ask Naruto how come he was so calm, he could risk letting the suspect know that he was even the littlest bit scared of the fox. I see. What did you agree on? Asked Kisame. Basically, the more I train the more power Kyuubi will be willing to give me, said Naruto as he released a. Kisame suddenly remembered about the news that Naruto had and asked him about it. Oh, it's a defense, the Kyuubi said that it will keep out almost any kind of attacks, explained Naruto. He didn't tell me everything though, so I'm gonna have to play around with it later. I see. A demonic ultimate defense. Thought Kisame. Then the door opened and Itachi walked in. Kisame, we have a mission in the waterfall country, said a serious Itachi. I saw, answered Kisame and began packing his things. Naruto was dismayed. What about me? He asked. You're coming with us replied Itachi, so get packing. Alright, a mission. Rejoiced Naruto. No, said Itachi, the mission is only for Kisame and me, you will just be training. Oh. Pouted Naruto. Well, at least I get to travel. Better than being stuck inside this hole. The three quickly packed up a few belongings. Itachi presented Naruto with his very own Akatsuki cloak that was of course cut down to fit Naruto. Even though Naruto had grown a little bit due to his intense training routine, he was nowhere near as tall as Itachi or Kisame. They had a light lunch and set out from their mountain residence. They traveled back the same way they used to come there. After several days of travel they arrived at the waterfall country without many occurrences. However, during this trip Naruto learned a very valuable skill, the ability to kill. It occurred at the end of the second day, when they had made camp and were getting ready to go to sleep. Naruto had first watch. About an hour after Itachi and Kisame fell asleep, Naruto picked up distinct sounds of people sneaking around them. After just several seconds of listening, Naruto could tell that there were 4 people, 2 behind him and 2 in front. However, Naruto stayed perfectly still. So they think I don't notice, huh? Well, that'll be their undoing, thought Naruto while faking a yawn. From the feel of their chakra or lack thereof, they are just bandits. Naruto smiled inwardly as he heard the 2 behind him start running towards him, game on. One of the bandits smiled as he hit Naruto in the back with a butcher knife. The smile quickly faded when Naruto disappeared in a cloud of smoke. Before the smoke could clear, 3 shuriken had already hit the bandit, 1 in the back of his head, the other 2 hit the upper back. The bandit collapsed dead instantly, still holding the butcher knife, however it was now clearly seen that the knife was lodged tight in a log. The second bandit, who was running right beside his comrade, saw this and spun around expecting Naruto to attack him from behind. The last thing he saw was the path that he had just come by. Naruto had reappeared right behind him and stuck his kunai through his neck. Blood was spraying everywhere as Naruto pulled out his kunai. Ah. The smell and feel of blood. Isn't it great? Asked Kyuubi, obviously satisfied with his vessel. Shut up. Don't make me lose concentration, I still have 2 more to take care of, yelled Naruto. He spun around prepared to deal with the others in the same way, but found that Kisame and Itachi had already dealt with them. After seeing this he was surprised that he felt disappointed. What the hell? Why am I unhappy? Thought Naruto. Because they took away our kill, growled an annoyed Kyuubi. Naruto still couldn't believe it. I'm sad that I didn't kill them. Accept it already, kiddo, you like blood. Just like me. Said Kyuubi with an evil grin. No. Naruto tried to deny it weakly. Face it, this is what you've always wanted. Ever since you were first exposed to people, said the Kyuubi as he showed him a memory from his past in Konoha. With the memory came emotions. Emotions of hate, loneliness, sadness, anger and killer intent. Thought a shocked Naruto. Yeah kid, those were your instincts telling me to retaliate against those assholes. Why you put it on is beyond me. I just wanted to prove them wrong. Answered Naruto in a sad tone. And you can still do that, said Kyuubi. What do you mean? Asked Naruto, confused. I ran away from the village and killed some of their own people. How can I prove them wrong? Don't you see, kid? They think, no, they believe, that you are weak. That they can kill you at any time. Don't you see it? They have been trying to break your resolve to live all of your life. How do you prove them wrong, you ask? Simple use of that hate and anger to become stronger, motivated the Kyuubi. But look at what that did to Sasuke. I don't want to like that. No, that idiot let his hate and anger consume him, countered Kyuubi. I said use your hate and anger. Use it as fuel for your strength, but never, and I mean never, let it take control of you. That was my mistake. Mumbled Kyuubi. Huh? What do you mean? Asked Naruto. Never mind that, I might tell you later. The important thing is that you understand and utilize what I have just told you. Will you do that? I'll try. Said Naruto, uncertainty. I won't take any tries from you. Just do it, said the Kyuubi forcefully. I'll help you out on the way. Yes, I will, said Naruto. Now, if you'll please notice what is going on in the real world, said Kyuubi sarcastically. Boy. Naruto. Yelled Kisame. After not getting a response for the third time, he finally punched him lightly in the face to try and wake him up. Ow. That hurts, you know. Yelled Naruto. Oh, well, good to have you back, joked Itachi. That a little freaked out by your first kill, and teased Kisame with a grin. No. Just. Naruto was unsure whether he should tell them about being able to talk with the Kyuubi. Should I tell them about our arrangement? Naruto asked Kyuubi. Yeah, but just say that you can talk to me and nothing more. Just what? Asked Kisame, still grinning. I was just having a conversation with Kyuubi, said Naruto. Itachi and Kisame were both absolutely shocked. You're telling me that you can with the Kyuubi? Asked Itachi, then added, since we made the deal. No, even before the deal, Naruto replied, I'd say since I met him in person the first time, when Hirosenin pushed me off a cliff. Hirosenin must mean Jiraiya. Thought Itachi. Why would he try to kill his own student? Asked Kisame. He thought that was the quickest way for me to learn to use the Kyuubi's chakra. That's insane. There are dozens of safer ways to learn chakra control, thought Kisame. Yawn man, I'm tired, said Naruto. Can we just go to sleep? Of course, as soon as we dispose of these bodies, said Itachi. They threw the bodies in a hole that Itachi made using an earth and then went to sleep, Kisame taking the next watch. 9 months later. They were sitting in a restaurant in the Water Country, celebrating the 1-year anniversary of Naruto's enrollment into the Akatsuki. While eating his meal, Naruto was reminiscing about the last year. The mission Itachi and Kisame had to the Waterfall Country turned out perfectly, and they were soon assigned another one in the Earth Country. The last 9 months consisted of constant missions for Itachi and Kisame, during which they traveled through many different countries to finally end up in the Water Country. Throughout this time, Naruto trained vigorously to build up his taijutsu, ninjutsu, and Kyuubi kept his word and would teach him some whenever he felt that Naruto had progressed enough. Since it turned out to be every 2 or 3 weeks, Naruto assumed that the Kyuubi had so many that it would take Naruto many years to learn everything. During this time, Naruto also became a lot more attached to his teachers, especially Itachi. They seemed to genuinely care for his well-being, and not just because they were ordered to take care of him. This really showed when they remembered his birthday. That day they gave him a day off from training to do whatever, then they took him out to dinner and actually gave him a gift. Naruto was disappointed at first since they gave him a book that seemed to just talk about the human body. However, Itachi explained to Naruto that if he was very well familiar with the human anatomy, then he would be able to defeat his opponents faster. The most surprising thing for Naruto was that Kyuubi also gave him a gift in the form of. This turned out to be a summoning contract with the foxes. When Naruto was signing the contract, he noticed that his name was the first and only one on the list. This gave him a certain edge in battle, since no other person would be able to summon the same thing as him, and also because no one probably knew that foxes were available as a summoning. Naruto thanked everyone greatly. For the first time in his life he felt like he had friends that cared. Naruto even thanked Kyuubi, but not as much since he didn't want to get soft on the fox. In terms of training, Naruto now knew most of the fire jutsus, except the forbidden ones. He knew several earth jutsus, many that didn't have a type such as teleportation, special sight jutsus and enhancement jutsus. He was now starting to learn water jutsus, which is one of the reasons that the trio came to the water country. After reading the human anatomy book, Naruto memorized all the critical points on the body and did special kunai and shuriken training so that he would hit those points. Naruto also learned high-level chakra control, so now he used the exact amount he needed and was also able to hide his chakra completely. Only Itachi, because of the Sharingan, could tell that Naruto had chakra flowing in him. Also, during this last year, Naruto had changed drastically. No more was he the naive, innocent and loud little boy, now he was calm, collected and very knowledgeable. He learned how to keep his emotions hidden and in check at all times. He no longer joked around, not to say that he lost his sense of humor, he just didn't show it to everyone anymore. Physically, Naruto had grown to be only half a head shorter than Itachi, his muscular build was even with Kisame, and his stamina incomparable to either of them. After their meal, which Naruto insisted on paying for because he said that he had to repay his teachers somehow, the three Akatsuki members went back to their hotel. All the way back to the hotel, Naruto kept thanking them for everything. "Naruto, you can stop thanking us for laughing at Itachi." "Yeah, I think we have been thanked more times than anyone in the world," added Kisame. I know," said Naruto enthusiastically, "but it's just that you are probably the closest thing I've ever had to a family." "Oh no, Naruto, your family was a lot better than us," said Itachi. "You know about my family?" asked Naruto hopefully. "Yeah, probably any of the Leaf would know about your family," said Itachi simply, then added, "especially your former teacher, Kakashi." "Really?" asked Naruto, "could you tell me about them?" "Wait, you mean you don't know?" Itachi's eyes widened a little. "No," Naruto answered sheepishly. "Well, I don't know a lot," said Itachi. "I know about your father, but not your mother." "Your father was the Yondaime Hokage," Kazami Arashi said to Itachi. Naruto just stared at Itachi with bugged-out eyes and an open mouth. My father was Yondaime," stuttered Naruto, then he sealed the Kyuubi inside me. "Why would he? That to me. Your father was a very honorable and noble man, Naruto. If he could make the sacrifice, then there would be no way he would ask some other family in the village," replied Itachi. "That's one reason, kid, there is another. But it would be better if I show you my memory later," said Kyuubi sincerely. "Why didn't you tell me before?" said a now angry Naruto. "First of all, would you believe me?" asked Kyuubi. "Yes," replied Naruto. "You say that now, but right now that information can't be put to any kind of practical use. And if I were to tell you before, back in Konoha, then you wouldn't have believed me," calmly explained the Kyuubi. "But let's talk about this later, after you go to sleep, we'll talk in person." "Alright," agreed Naruto. "I can't believe Kakashi or Jiraiya for that matter didn't tell you," continued Itachi. "Why those two in particular?" asked Naruto, since he noticed Itachi concentrating on them. "Simple, Jiraiya trained your father, and from what I've heard they were really close. Kakashi was your father's student, Yondaime regarded him as a prized pupil and treated him almost like his own son." "Who else could know?" asked Naruto, trying very hard to keep his emotions in check. "Tsunade, Sandaime for sure, most likely anyone that ranks during the battle with the Kyuubi," said Itachi. "I found out when I was testing out main Sharingan on an experienced Uchiha. To keep his only son in absolute darkness, that horrible," said Kisame, finally joining in the discussion. "How did you know?" "You're from the mist?" asked Naruto. "Itachi told me, a little while after we started training you," answered Kisame. "I didn't say anything because I thought that you knew and it was probably a hard subject for you to talk about." "I see," said Naruto with a slight hint of resentment, then after noticing that they registered his tone he added, "But thank you for telling me. And I'm not mad at you in any way. I just found another reason to hate that village." Itachi nodded. "Let's call it night, shall we?" "Yeah," said Naruto, but didn't move. Itachi walked over to Naruto and put his hand on Naruto's shoulder. "Come on, things will look better after a good night's sleep." Wordlessly they each went to get ready for bed and fell asleep soon after, all except Naruto, who kept thinking about what he just learned. "Damn those bastards, they couldn't even tell a simple thing such as who my parents were. I am over 14 years old and now I finally found out." Naruto was very angry right now. "My teachers, Kakashi and Jiraiya, couldn't tell me. Especially Kakashi, prized pupil of the fourth, my ass. If my father treated him like that, why couldn't he just return the fucking favor?" Resentment was now being thrown into the mixing pot of Naruto's emotions. "I know why. He's just like the rest of them. Not training me because I'm the Kyuubi's container. Most of the older shinobi know that I'm the fourth son. But that doesn't seem to matter to them, does it? Oh no, it doesn't matter at all. They all see the demon fox. Their precious demon fox," thought Naruto sarcastically. With these kinds of angry and hateful thoughts Naruto finally fell asleep. In front of Kyuubi's cage. "You know you were right," Naruto said. "I wouldn't have believed you while I was in the village. Now. It just serves to fuel my anger and hatred and in turn fuel my strength." "That's all great, but you've gotta calm yourself a little bit," said Kyuubi. "You're letting those two dangerous emotions take hold of you." True, said Naruto and tried to relax, then remembered something. "Hey, you said that there's a memory you want to show me," said Naruto. "Yes," said Kyuubi as he sent out his chakra towards Naruto. Kyuubi's memory. Naruto was dozens of feet off the ground in a forest. It was the middle of the night and he could see a great fire in the distance. Suddenly to his left he saw a giant toad appear. As the toad got closer, he could see the outline of a man standing on top of it. Naruto's view was changing, he was turning to face this toad. That must be Gamabunta. He suddenly saw a bright light appear from the man and felt himself being pulled towards the man. As he got closer he saw that in the man's arms was a baby. And that must be me. So that man is the fourth. My father. Before he was sucked into the boy he heard the man speak. "I'm sorry to do this to you my son, but there is no one else that I can trust with this burden. You are my son and I know that you will be strong enough to protect the Leaf Village. I hope you grow up to become a good man and a good shinobi." He then saw himself being pulled into the baby and suddenly everything went dark. Back outside the Kyuubi's cage. "That's it, that's the only memory I have of your father, that's the other reason he chose you and last, but not least that's the last of my freedom." Naruto remained silent for a long while trying to sort out everything that he had just learned about his family. "Do you know anything about my mother?" asked Naruto. "No," said Kyuubi, "if you want information I suggest you find an old Konoha nin and beat it out of him." Naruto chuckled at this, but realized that that was probably the only way. "Someday I will find out about my late family," Naruto promised himself, "but for now I can't risk returning to Konoha." For the next 2.5 years, Naruto traveled around the world with Itachi and some other Akatsuki nin. Kisame had taught him all the water jutsus he knew, or at least all he was willing to teach. Afterwards he was forced to leave and was replaced by another member of the Akatsuki. His new teacher was a cloud nin named Raiko. Raiko was also a tall man much like Kisame, he had short silver hair that was as spiky as Naruto's and teal eyes. Beneath his Akatsuki cloak he wore a blood-red jacket, underneath which was a blue shirt. He wore dark blue pants that came down to cover half of his shins, but his tall black boots covered anything his pants didn't. Raiko taught him electric jutsus, for which Naruto seemed to have a natural affinity. After Raiko was done with him, Naruto could infuse almost all of his with electricity. It turned out that the Kyuubi knew several very high-level Rethinking jutsus that it taught him. After Raiko came a grass nin named Mia. Mia was about as tall as Itachi, she had long dark green hair and emerald eyes. She wore a black jacket that had the right sleeve torn off and her right arm was bandaged under the jacket. Well, she never took off her jacket. She wore green and brown camouflage pants and black shoes. Mia specialized in poisons, but also taught Naruto how to summon vines that could hold your opponents and or transmit poisons, or you could just wrap up your opponent in these vines and they would crush him or her. It turned out that because of the Kyuubi, Naruto had a natural resistance to poison. This meant that poison would either not affect him at all, or the effects would be weakened by a lot. This gave Naruto a serious upper hand, since he didn't have to worry about staying out of the way of his own poison. During his training Naruto managed to befriend every single one of his teachers. His relationship with Itachi also grew to a point where they could share anything with each other. Naruto told him about his life early in the Leaf, about the people or rather people that he could still consider a friend there, he also told him about Sasuke and his attempt to gain power from Orochimaru. Itachi in turn told Naruto about his earlier life and also explained the events that led up to the Uchiha massacre and why he left Sasuke alive. All in all, Naruto saw him as an older brother that he never had and occasionally would address him as Itachi Oni-chan, but only in private. It was after his training with Mia was done that Kisame came back and told them that they had a mission. This was to be Naruto's first mission for the Akatsuki. "I will elaborate on the details later," said Kisame, "but now we need to move out." "Where are we going?" asked Naruto. "To the Hidden Stone Village," replied Kisame. Thanks for listening. I do hope you enjoy it. If you want the next part of this video, turn on that bell notification. Like, subscribe and comment down below. And also check out the other videos I have created and enjoyed it. See you guys next video.